thing. I must read you something of Josephus, which I shouldn't have told you it's Josephus, because it's so. This is Josephus, the historian writing at the time of Christ. He wrote just after. He says, the people had assembled in Jerusalem for the feast, and the Roman cohort stood on guard over the temple colonnade. One of the soldiers pulled up his garment and bent over indecently, turning his backside to the Jews and making a noise as indecent as his attitude. This infuriated the whole crowd, and snatching up stones, hurled them at the soldiers. Communists, the governor, fearing the population would rush him, sent for heavy infantry. When these poured into the colonnades, the Jews were seized with uncontrollable panic. In the struggle to escape, they trod on each other, and more than 30,000 were crushed to death. Thus, the Feast of Unleavened Bread ended in distress to the whole nation. Now, if I'd have told you that Mike Palin had written a scene where a Roman soldier bends down, farts, and 30,000 die, you would have said, well, that's just going too far, But that showed it's the Python attitude is not as far off what was actually going on at the time, and how some of Josephus' stories, what he tells us is amazing, of that particular period. We've got a historian writing at the time, It is amazing.
Well,
the other thing the book, sorry.
No, go ahead, Julian.
The thing the book tackles is that, I go into the imagery of, say like you see the Ten Commandments, and when you see the hill, the mountain that God is on, when they show it, when you go to a film and try to show it, it looks like a volcano. So you suddenly go, well, was it a volcano that they're talking about? Because when you try to film these things, whenever you try to film certain things, you go, well, this doesn't work. What is it? It looks exactly like a volcano in the Ten Commandments. And a lot of things like that become clear. And then not only do I go into imagery in other films, but I also go into imagery in painting. So you take a painting like this, which is by Bosch, and you go, well, it's Jesus crowned with thorns. Mm-hmm. But what in fact is actually going on there? This is air, earth, air, fire and water, all the different types. They are linked up with astrological signs. So this is Scorpio, and it's going to the water, different parts of the body. The Aries goes to the shoulder. These are all, we go into the what is the imagery of a painting, and what's that about as well. So I delve into anything that sort of links us up with biblical imagery and biblical films, investigating them. And things that we did, for instance, we had to build small crosses for the people to carry. People can't actually carry a cross the size that Jesus is put on. The other thing is, we're in Tunisia. Where did the tree come from? We had to ship in trees. You talk about Jerusalem. Where did those giant trees supposed to have come from that he's always shown on? And he's carrying this tree, which is impossible. The tree is all squared off, like a carpenter has worked on it for about 2 weeks. Then to do a joint, we had to do joints. We put rope around them to pretend that they were tied, but we're joking. Doing a joint with a cross on it is actually extremely difficult. So you say, here's a man working 2 weeks, and then he's put up on the cross. And Terry Gilliam, I said to Terry Gilliam, why did you put skeletons on the crosses? I don't know if you notice in the film, on the crosses there are skeletons. And as he approaches it, there's a man taking the nails out to remove the skeletons to put the next one on. That is exactly what would have happened. There would have been, they wouldn't take people down. It wasn't a method of death, crucifixion, to kill people. It was a method of keeping them alive as long as possible and then presenting the body to ward people off. So you go, our actual process of crucifying people gave us sort of some clues as to what might have been the truth. For instance, when the actors wanted to go for a pee, we had to take them down. Just imagine what the site must have looked like and smelt like,
Yeah.
You suddenly go, hang on, what's this? We're reading this in the Bible, and you go, well, it doesn't actually work. They didn't. In fact, we find out that they didn't carry the crosses. If they did have a crosspiece, the word crucifixion actually is staked. It's not crucifixion. It's mistranslated. And so when they were staked. 500 were crucified, Josephus tells us, outside Jerusalem on one day. Well, where'd they get the trees from? Well, the only tree that we know, we have a thing, was the man was nailed through the heel, and the nail is still in there because it was bent, and the tree that it had been stuck in was an olive tree. So people were just stuck up on little things just to prop them up. It was nothing like the imagery that we're given with footrests. I mean, footrests for these, they were nailed through the heel. It was a very ugly image because the legs are apart. The nails are through the heels, and they're either staked, with their hands just up, or if there was a crosspiece, they sometimes carried a crosspiece on the way to the crucifixion site, and then the crosspiece might have been placed. I was trying to work out where the crosspiece went. Did it go behind the upright, and then nail through his? They would stay up. Then they just need a nail in the back of the crosspiece. Or as we go into some of the paintings have it as a T cross, and that would make sense as you put the cross on the top, and then you hang them from. I mean, it's really interesting. It's sort of like, you just watch something when you're making a film and you go, "Why does this work?" It doesn't work. Something's odd here.
Well, Julian, we're going to run out of time. I wanted to ask you one more thing, Python related. Are you? Yeah. You got, I think, 3 of the Pythons who actually wrote endorsements for the book. So clearly, the connection is still there with you and them. Do you have any more work that you're doing with any of the Pythons coming up, or that you've worked on recently?
No, they haven't got anything. I mean, Mike Palin lives around the corner this side, and Terry Jones lives around the corner this side. So, and Terry Gilliam lives up the hill. So we're all in close thing. John is living in America now, and Eric is as well. So we see them occasionally, but I see the others quite regularly. But no, I don't know what they've got. They haven't got anything planned other individually. Terry Jones is planning a film. He's trying to get a film off the ground at the moment, but I don't know whether that's going to happen. Terry Gilliam is, has to get somebody who's a fan of his to back it, because it's whether it makes money. 12 Monkeys was the last one that made money, and if he gets the right subject and he gets the right title, it's a great title, 12 Monkeys. If it's the right title, he should be off on something. Mike Palin is just enjoying doing his round the world thing, so he just loves going around and doing his trip, and he's so wonderful doing that show that he just comes back, stays a couple of months, and off he goes again, to some amazing trip round the world, So they're out there doing their individual stuff, and Eric is always finding ways of exploiting it, and he came up with Spamalot, which is brilliant, and then he's done this great thing with The Life of Brian, orchestral piece. I don't know if you got it. Yeah, you've had it in America. We had it over here, and it's running Australia, and that's going all around the place. So Eric is making the most of it and does wonderful jobs. I love that his version of The Life of Brian story, The Messiah.
All right. Well, folks, listen. You can order Julian Doyle's new book, The Life of Brian, The Life of Jesus, and be careful, because when you look for it, the book sites have it listed as The Life of Jesus. It was intended to be The Life of Brian, with Brian's with a kind of a line through it, and then Jesus, but it is listed in most places as The Life of Jesus. But the easiest way to find it correctly is if you get it from the official Monty Python website, which is deadparrotshop.com, and they ship all over the world, so don't worry about wherever you may be seeing this. And of course, you can always order the book at a great price at mrmedia.com. We'll have it up on the website as well. Julian, can people find you in Twitter or Facebook, or do you have a website for yourself?
Yeah, there's a Facebook for the book, which is fun because I put up some things, and then there's all lovely Monty Python quotes come up, underneath it. I've got like this morning I stuck up an image from the burning bush from the 10 Commandments, and then a burning bush that they do in Lanzarote on a volcano, and the two things, and then the mountain, and then everybody. You get all these funny comments that people are making on it. So it's Life of Brian / Jesus on Facebook, and there's some great fun going on there. And I listed the build up to the launch of the book. I listed 10 facts from the book, and or bits of, a bit of film from things, so there's lots of fun going on there, more than what I'm doing. It's everybody's got mad on it and just writing really funny things on it. I had to laugh at them, so what's going on those pages,
Well, we'll put the Facebook link up on Mr. Media so people can find it there. And
Right.
Julian Doyle, thank you so much for joining us on Mr. Media today.
I've enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And folks, for more original interviews with the world's funniest filmmakers and authors, you can surf over to our main website, mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. And if you've enjoyed today's show, subscribe for free to Mr. Media via email, RSS, or iTunes, and you'll never miss another show. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many parts of the UK. And show your support of Mr. Media by supporting our sponsors, including Audible. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/radio. Again, that's audibletrial.com/radio for your free audiobook. We're also supported by thepartyauthority.us. Call DJ Ira for all your party entertainment needs nationwide at 1-800-DIAL-DJs, or visit their website, thepartyauthority.us. If you've got an idea for a guest, a comment on today's show, or would like to advertise on Mr. Media, email me directly at bob@mrmedia.com. You can also follow Mr. Media on Facebook, Twitter, or our new YouTube video channel. Thanks so much for joining us today. Always appreciate you giving up a piece of your day and spending it with us. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.